Well, it's the B. What's up, y'all? Good to have you here. Today I'm gonna do some MMA, some fight talk, some fight coverage. It's an obsession of mine. I absolutely love watching UFC. I love watching mixed martial arts. I have a lot to say about it. So if anybody is is not a fan or not interested or doesn't want to learn anything new, then turn off the fucking channel and watch somebody else. So let's talk about Darren Till from Liverpool. Did it for all the Scousers, mate. From fucking Liverpool, mate. Things got proper Western, mate. How's my Scouse accent? Not bad. By the way, shout out to all my Scouse fans in the north. Shout out to all my mates in the north, in Liverpool. Fucking Darren Till, man. So Cowboy, Donald Cowboy Cerrone moved up to 170, well over a year ago. And his first 4 fights, he finished. He beat Alex Oliveira by like a fucking mounted triangle. He crushed Patrick Cote. He crushed Rick Story. He crushed Matt Brown. He crushed who else did he get? Anyways, he was on a hell of a win streak, and then he went up against, I want to say, Masvidal. And he was like, he went up against Jorge Masvidal. Donald Cerrone did, and this was a while ago. He's like, I don't even know who he is. I've never heard of him. When he knew damn well who he was, because he had trained and sparred with Jorge Masvidal, before they fought. And then Cerrone was, playing it off like, oh, I don't even know who this guy is. Well, you saw what happened to Donald Cerrone when he fought Jorge Masvidal. He got, for all intents and purposes, he got knocked out in the first round. But for whatever reason, got saved by the bell round number 2. Got finished with body shots and punches up on the cage. So then Cowboy went on to fight. Forgot who he fought next. It doesn't even fucking matter. He took this random fight against Darren Till. I'm sorry, Donald Cerrone just fought Lawler, and that was a war. He took a lot of head damage. He didn't get knocked out, but he took a lot of head damage. And then he takes this random fight with Darren Till, who no one's ever heard of, dude. At least unless you're a Scouser, unless you live in Liverpool, unless you live in the north, you might know who Darren Till is. But no disrespect to any Scousers, man. I fucking love it. Every Englander I've met just about has been pretty fucking cool. Even though you guys are a bunch of fucking beer drinking, tea sipping, fucking crumpet nibbling. Yeah, I fucking said it. You guys with your fucking mates. Alright, I'm totally talking shit now. I digress. So Cowboy, he fought against Robbie Lawler, took a lot of head damage, and goes and takes this random fight against Darren Till in Poland. And he says the same thing. He's like, I don't know who the guy is, never heard of him. I've just heard he's a southpaw with a big left hand, and he's a good striker. He's like, well, I like to strike too, so bring it on, motherfucker. Because he's Cowboy, and that's kind of his thing. Like, I'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. I don't give a fuck. Like that's his attitude, right? So he goes in there against Darren Till, and as you all see, he didn't fucking touch this guy. Darren Till pieced Cowboy up. It's almost like Cowboy wasn't even trying to fight back, because I didn't see it. He didn't seem Mike Perry. Mike Perry, the guy that is going to be fighting Santiago Ponzinibbio next. He made a great point. He was saying that it wasn't Cowboy fighting in there against Darren Till. It was Donald Cerrone, meaning that it wasn't the Cowboy that we all know, because the guy we saw in the cage fight against Darren Till wasn't the Cowboy that knocks dudes out with head kicks and beats people's asses. It was a dude that was getting beat up. And it looks like he didn't belong in there. And one thing I want to say about Cowboy, I get he's got the persona. Yeah, I'm a Cowboy, fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. I don't give a fuck, whatever. Cowboy must take time off. He has to, dude. He got KO'd by Masvidal. He didn't get his ass totally kicked by Lawler, but he definitely got rocked a bit. He got fucked up. And then he goes in there against Darren Till from fucking Liverpool. And then he gets KO'd. He gets terribly KO'd, and his nose is fucked. Did you guys see the x-ray of his fucking nose? Jesus Christ, man. But he's a good sport about it. Darren Till was super cool about it. I think that Cowboy should stay at 170. Like, there was talk about him saying, saying, oh well, the reason why he lost is because he moved from 155 to 170. Well, that's fucking bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, like I said, when he went from 155 to 170, his first 4 fights were by a very impressive finish. I think the reason that Cowboy lost this fight is because, number 1, he underestimated his opponent. Number 2, he fights too often and doesn't give himself a chance to rest. And number 3, that's it. He needs to fucking chill and stop taking fights against guys who are young and hungry and obsessed and have this incredible self-belief like Darren Till from Liverpool. So, but yeah, man, so during the Octagon interview, Darren Till runs up cage side to Mike Perry, and Mike Perry, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a crazy dude. He's crazy, scary-ass powerhouse, man, and I would never want to fight that guy, but I personally think that Darren Till and Mike Perry would be a good matchup. I think that Darren Till would be able to pick Mike Perry apart, but Mike Perry, I think, could probably knock Darren Till out with a couple of punches. But Mike Perry's going to fight Santiago Ponzinibbio next, who just beat Gunnar Nelson. I think that that'll be a good fight. I would like to see Mike Perry win because I'm actually a total Mike Perry fan. Because he's real and he doesn't care, and he's a true fighter. Like, he's not there to be a role model. He's not there to make fans and be on the fucking posters and, hey guys, train martial arts and study in school. No, he's there to break jaws and crack heads open, and it's fucking awesome. So next matchup for Darren Till. So my thought was he fights the winner of, because he beat Cowboy in such an impressive, he devastated Cerrone. Like, it was, sad. Like, he really fucked that Cowboy Cerrone up. He beat his ass like bad, dude. I think he should fight the winner of Stephen Thompson, Jorge Masvidal. I think that Darren Till, he's undefeated, and he impressed me so much with his performance against Donald Cerrone that Darren Till from Liverpool should definitely fight the winner of Stephen Thompson versus he either fights the winner of Stephen Thompson, Jorge Masvidal, or fights the winner of Damian Maia versus Colby Covington, which is actually, I want to say, coming up soon. We got a fight night coming up, UFC Fight Night in Machida, Brunson. And actually, on that card, Maia and Covington are fighting. Now, Damian Maia is ranked number 3 in the welterweight division. As you know, he just fought against Tyron Woodley for the belt. The fight was so boring, that Tyron Woodley lost a shit ton of fans because of how fucking boring that fight was. Hey, Tyron Woodley, just a tip. For sure, stop race baiting and talking about how people don't like you because you're black, and for sure put on better fights, dude. For sure put on better fights, dude. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're black. Tyron Woodley is the welterweight champ, and he's known to complain a bit about he doesn't get fair treatment because he's black, he doesn't get paid or whatever, he doesn't get the big fights or whatever. Well, number one, let me just say something about Tyron Woodley. Okay, Tyron Woodley, first of all, since he's been champion, it puts on the most boring fights that I've seen. The dude is a physical fucking specimen. He's an absolute athletic specimen. He is. He can knock out anybody in the division. He could probably out-wrestle anybody, but he doesn't. He's boring. And on top of it, he's boring as a personality. If you watch him in an interview, if you watch him on TV, he's a basic bro. He's not funny. Not really. He's very, plain in his delivery. So, Tyron Woodley, the reason that, people don't want to watch your fights and shit, you don't get paid that much, is because you're a fucking boring fighter and you're boring to listen to, and you're not an interesting personality, dude. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's black. Look at John Jones. That dude's black, but he was actually entertaining and put on amazing fucking fights. Look at Demetrius Johnson, the flyweight champ. He's black. Now, he doesn't make a whole lot of money because he doesn't get a lot of views because it's such a small weight class, but he puts on amazing fights. Anyways, that just pissed me off about Tyron Woodley, man, how he fucking race baits. The fucking welterweight champ. You know, if you're the champ, man, you should be putting on good fights, all right? So, anyways, I digress. I think that Darren Till from Liverpool should fight the winner of Damian Maia versus Colby Covington, but possibly fight the winner of Thompson Masvidal. I don't know what y'all think. Maybe it's. I think that Darren Till should fight one more guy before the champ. I think that he needs to prove himself against one more dude. So I say the winner of, for sure, Thompson and Masvidal, which would be great. So I think that's pretty good. And let's move on to Bellator now. So Bellator is another MMA league. For those of you who don't know, it's kind of funny because like when I talk to people about MMA, some people think that UFC is a sport. Well, UFC is not a sport. UFC is an organization in which puts on fights, in which promotes fighting. Bellator is an MMA league as well. It's an MMA promotion. So MMA is the sport. I get a lot of people that think UFC is the sport. It's just simply an organization. But anyways, Bellator is an up-and-coming MMA promotion, and what's happening is a lot of UFC fighters, guys like Roy McDonald, who's, in my opinion, the best welterweight on the face of the earth. He's actually beat the current UFC champ, Tyron Woodley. He moved to Bellator, and Roy McDonald just finished Paul Daly, and he's getting ready to fight Douglas Lima for the championship in, I believe, January of next year. And then you got a guy like Gegard Mousasi. Gegard Mousasi moved to Bellator. Roy Nelson's moved to Bellator. Justin Wren, the dude who saves lives in Africa and the Congo, he moved to Bellator a long-ass time ago. But I'm just saying, guys are going to Bellator because they're getting paid better, they're getting better deals, and you know they don't have to do the Reebok deal. Guys can have sponsors on their trunks, and if anybody doesn't understand the Reebok deal, let me just break it down real quick. In the UFC a couple of years ago, fighters like on their shorts were allowed to have different like sponsors. For example, like Burger King or fucking Toyota, just 7-Eleven or just any brand name. And then they got a bunch of money because they sponsored those companies. But then UFC made a deal with Reebok where they could only wear Reebok trunks. So the fighters don't make sponsor money anymore. They only make their fight purse, which is their earnings from the fight, and they get like a little cut from Reebok, which is a very small fraction of what they used to make. So needless to say, it pisses off a lot of fighters, and it pisses me off because I used to be a kickboxer, like on a low level. I was not a UFC fighter. I was not like not anywhere like high level. However, I have a glimpse of what it's like to be a professional fighter and live that life. And I did live that lifestyle for a while where I trained 2 to 3 times a day. I got up early every day. I got beat up in practice sometimes. I busted my legs up. I busted my arms up. I got jaw broken, hand broken, sacrificed my social life, sacrificed having a good time so I could optimize my performance and training the next day. Always taking care of my diet, not going to parties, shit like that. And I didn't make any money really when I kickboxed. So imagine these guys who were UFC fighters getting picked up and slammed and beat up and training all the time. And, no one gives a fuck if you lose. Nobody cares if you go in there and get beat up. They're like, well, yeah, what'd you expect? So my point is that when the UFC takes away these guys' sponsorships so they can't make the money, all that these fighters have to go through. And again, I'm not trying to say I don't know what it is to be a UFC fighter, but I have experience as a kickboxer, and I can I have a small glimpse of what it's like that lifestyle of a fighter. And dude, it's a rough life, man. It's a life of getting beat down and having to keep your chin up. It's a life of working constantly when you don't want to, pushing yourself through your limits, getting hurt. People don't even care. You know, people don't care that you're a fighter. Half of the people think it's stupid that you want to fight. And then on top of that, you know, you go in there and get your ass kicked, you don't make any money. You know, it just really pisses me off that they did the Reebok deal, man. So I totally get why guys are going to Bellator. And I watched a fight last night, Gegard Mousasi versus Alexander Shlemenko. Now let me just talk to you. You know, some people like to say like white people like aren't tough, which is it's just like me saying that all black people are stupid. It's completely like invalid and just retarded. Just a rule to go by. If you see an out-of-shape looking white guy with a weird, fucked up name that you can't pronounce, do not fuck with that guy. I will repeat, if you see an out-of-shape, weird-looking white guy with a name that you cannot pronounce, do not start any shit with that dude. If you meet a guy and his name is Alexander Shlemenko, he's gonna beat the shit out of you. He's Russian, alright? Russians and white people from the Balkans and Europe, like fucking Croatia and Bosnia and Albania and Moldova and fucking, or not Moldova, Macedonia and Montenegro, like all those countries, man, like those fucking white people are savages, dude. Jesus. Just so you know. It's just a rule of thumb. If you meet a guy and his name is Krzysztof Chichinski or some shit like that, don't fuck with that guy. So he fights Gegard Mousasi, who, in my opinion, could have been UFC champion, but he never got his title shot. I don't know why. I think it's fucked up. He moved over to Bellator and just had a crazy fight against Alexander Shlemenko, who's been in the game for a very long time. Alexander Shlemenko is an excellent fighter, and I bet, you know, like casual MMA fans, like if you just watch casual MMA on a casual basis and you just know a little bit, you probably have no idea who Alexander Shlemenko is. But if you're a hardcore fan like me, most likely you do. Alexander Shlemenko, man, is the man. Gegard Mousasi, dude, I don't know what his future's going to be like, but he didn't look so great. He didn't look like he would pull the trigger, because when you saw him fighting in the UFC, when he was taking out guys like Vitor and he was taking out guys like Chris Weidman, he would just start opening up and attacking and knocking guys out. He's not doing that now. At least he didn't do that in the last fight. So I don't know what's up with Gegard, man. You know, he's actually one of my favorite fighters that I feel should have become champion of the UFC. You know, so. Anyways, you know, let's talk about weight cutting now. So weight cutting is one of the biggest problems, I think, at least in MMA now. I think what they need to do is this. When I say they, I just mean, you know, whatever athletic commission or even just the UFC. Either certain guys need to simply move up a weight class so we get deeper divisions, therefore better matchups, more diverse matchups, or we need to make more weight classes. Because we just had a great fight, Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee. And I know Tony Ferguson and Kevin Lee have been cutting down to 155 forever now. However, it's very taxing on your body. And I imagine as you get older, it's harder for you to cut weight like that. Kevin Lee does not walk around naturally at 155 pounds. I guarantee you he weighs close to like 190, 185 to 190. So, in MMA, the weight classes go like this. For the men it goes flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and then heavyweight. So it goes 125 pounds to 135 to 145 to 155, which seems logical, right? So we go 25, 35, 45, 55. Then 170. Okay, and then from there, 185. And then from there, 205. And then from there, a maximum of 265. So what I'm saying here is that the weight classes make sense up into lightweight. So I think that the weight classes should be in 10-pound increments, right? So 125, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, because you have guys that will fight at 155 pounds, but they walk around at 180. So does it make more sense for that fighter to fight at 170 pounds or 155 or even 165? Guys are cutting too much weight, is my point, and it's affecting their performance in the fight. They're running out of gas too quickly. They're getting sick, you know. They're actually getting sick. They have to go to the hospital because they're dehydrating themselves so much to make a weight, which is not anywhere close to their natural weight. So I think that in due time, man, the UFC or just MMA period, they need to take a page from boxing because boxing has a lot more weight classes. You know, for example, like 155 would be lightweight, and then 165 could be like, you know, like super lightweight, right? And then 175 could be welterweight, 185 would be middleweight, 195 could be super middleweight, 205 would be light heavyweight, and then just heavyweight from then on there. So you're really just adding, you would really just be adding what? 3 new weight classes, right? Which would make for, in my opinion, which would make for more interesting matchups. You know, because there's a lot of great fights that we all want to see, but there's that weight class issue, and some guys don't want to make the cut, they can't do it. But then guys will fight at a catch weight, which a catch weight is like this. So, for example, if I'm gonna fight a guy at 155, but I can't make it, I'll fight him at 160. But if we just had more weight classes, we wouldn't need to do a catch weight. It would just, does that make sense? So, guys seem to improve when they go up 10 or 15 pounds, and some examples of that are guys like Donald Cerrone. I mean, when he was at 155, don't get me wrong, he was still doing great. But when he moved to 170, he looked better. He looked bigger, stronger, he just looked healthier. And he finished all those guys. But his issue is not that it's the wrong weight class for him. His issue is that he just fights too much and he needs to fucking chill out with the fighting, at least for a little while. Rafael Dos Anjos, RDA, when he moved up from 155, he was the 155 champion. He was dominating for a while, and then he got knocked out by Eddie Alvarez. He got beat by Ferguson. I want to say he lost. He had one more loss at lightweight. I could be wrong, but either way, he moved to welterweight, and he's smashing guys at welterweight because it's more close to his natural size. When Daniel Cormier first came in MMA, he's the current, and it's a controversial thing, I understand, but he's the current light heavyweight champ, and that's, some people say he's not the real champion. You know what? He's not the real champ because he did lose to John Jones. Nonetheless, though, when he first came in MMA, he was actually a heavyweight fighter, and he's undefeated at heavyweight. I mean, he beat guys like Roy Nelson. He beat fucking, Bigfoot. He beat a lot of good guys at heavyweight. So DC, in my opinion, should go back up to fucking heavyweight because what other fights are there for him at light heavyweight? He's beat everybody. The only possibly interesting fight would be him and Volkan Oezdemir, but I don't think that Volkan Oezdemir should be fighting DC yet. I think he should fight Gustafsson next, and the winner of that fights for the belt. Anthony Johnson, who's now retired, he actually fought in 4 different weight classes, but for a while he was fighting at 170, and then he went up to 205, man. So this guy was cutting 50 pounds. We're talking 50 plus pounds to fight. That's so terrible. And what ended up happening is that he would miss weight. And he actually, got in trouble from the UFC. So he had to move up. So when guys try to cut so low, man, it's just, I mean, Jorge Masvidal moved up from 155 to 170. He's looking better. Johnny Hendricks, John Lineker moved from flyweight to bantamweight, looking better, or he was. Kelvin Gastelum went from 170, and he was doing good at 170, but then went to 185, and he's whooping ass, knocking guys dead. And then there's other examples too, where guys who were too heavy for their weight class, like Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is a lightweight fighter. Every time he's fought at 170, aside from when he fought Conor McGregor in UFC 196, he's lost. He's lost to Who did he fight at 170? He got destroyed against Rory McDonald. He fought against, who the fuck else did Nate Diaz fight at 170? God damn it. I forget. You know what? It doesn't even matter. But he does a lot better at 155. He's just a lot faster at 155. Demetrius Johnson, the current, talking about Mighty Mouse here, we're talking about pound for pound greatest of all time. His only loss, as far as I know, his only loss in MMA, in professional MMA, is against Dominique Cruz at a higher weight class. So he fought Dominic Cruz at 135. It was a crazy fight, like such a close fight. Lost by decision, and then moves down to 125, and he's undefeated ever since. Something I want to say about Demetrius Johnson, and I know I talked about this in the last B-hole, or at least the other fight talk I did, but dude, I get it because he's a husband, he's a father. He has a family, and he just wants to make a living doing what he likes, kicking ass, making a good paycheck, take his kids to school, doing the dishes, mowing the lawn. Yeah, I get it. Okay, dude. But on the other hand, it's almost sad in a way. It's almost like John Jones getting in his own way, because John Jones is like one of the biggest athletic talents to be seen in the UFC, and the only guy that keeps beating him is himself. And then Demetrius Johnson is not like John Jones in the sense that he keeps fucking up and getting in trouble, but he's considered to be the best fighter, best pound for pound fighter, but yet barely anybody knows who he really is. And the argument is that he needs to fight somebody who's gonna challenge him, because every fight I've seen him in at 125, he's never been in trouble. When has Mighty Mouse been in a fight since fighting at a higher weight class? When has he been in trouble? He hasn't. I'm trying to think. I mean, he might have got touched up. He got dropped by John Dodson once. Okay, yeah, whatever. He still won. So I'm just saying, man, Mighty Mouse has got to fight someone who's fucking good. All right. Because he's fighting these no-name guys at flyweight, and as an MMA fan, it's just, it's sad to see a guy that talented and that good not fight better competition and put on more exciting fights, because he's just fighting like these little-ass dudes, and I'm sorry, I just think that we can all agree here that we want to see Mighty Mouse fight a better dude. He's fighting these no-name flyweights and destroying them, and nobody even cares that he's got 10 or 11 title defenses. They don't even know who he is because he's fighting nobodies, and he's beating their asses, but they're nobodies. Sorry, man, but it's true. So anyways, so some fighters that I think got to go up are, again, like Mighty Mouse. I think Luke Rockhold needs to go up to light heavyweight, and then DC needs to go to heavyweight. Because I know fucking Luke Rockhold and his boyfriend DC won't fight each other, of course, in the same weight class. So I think that DC's got to go back to heavyweight, because the heavyweight division in the UFC is getting a little bit, we got Stipe, the champ, of course. What other big matchups we got coming up in heavyweight? We got Ngannou versus Overeem, which I'm definitely interested to see. But aside from that, who do we got? We got fucking Fabricio Verdum versus Tabura, which, again, is kind of sad. It's Fabricio Verdum, guys. Fabricio Verdum, the first guy to submit Fedor, or finish him, at least in his, after his decade-long win streak. We're talking about the guy to beat Cain, to choke out the seemingly unbeatable Cain Velasquez, and he's fighting a guy named Tabura. Exactly. You guys don't know who the fuck he is. Fabricio Verdum, it's another sad case. He needs to be fighting top-level guys. I don't know why presumably one of the best heavyweights on the planet is fighting a guy named Tabura that no one's ever heard of. I hope Fabricio rips Tabura's fucking head off and then fights against a real heavyweight, against a guy that can fucking challenge him. Am I talking shit? Yeah, I'm talking shit, because this guy Tabura might be a total fucking badass. I might get, I might be totally wrong. But I'm just saying, Fabricio Verdum for sure fight some better competition, dude. Kind of sucks, but I get it. He needs to fight. Got to make that paycheck. You know, and Francis Ngannou is fighting Alistair Overeem. Now, here's how I think Alistair Overeem and Ngannou is going to go. Now, for those of you who don't know, Francis Ngannou is this up-and-coming heavyweight. He's the big, scary black guy. He's a Cameroonian dude. He's from Africa, but he's like French and all that. Seems like a nice guy. Big, scary, gigantic, overly muscular black dude, terrifying looking, has one-touch knockout power. And he's going to fight Alistair Overeem, who is known to be one of the better strikers in heavyweight history, but is also known to have a cotton ball for a chin. His chin is literally a cotton ball. So, here's how I think it's going to go. I think that Alistair Overeem is going to get knocked out, and then Francis Ngannou is going to fight Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight belt. How do I think Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou will go? I think that'll be a great fight, man. I think that Stipe is obviously more experienced. I think he probably's got the speed advantage. I know that Ngannou, he's a big scary black guy, but that doesn't mean he's faster. Stipe Miocic is very athletic, very fast, excellent footwork, excellent angles, great boxing, has excellent technique in his punching. And Ngannou, I'm not saying he doesn't have good technique, but let's not kid ourselves here. He definitely relies mostly on his freakishly, he's an athletic freak. The dude is absolutely incredibly jacked. His hands are gigantic. If he hits you, you're going to sleep. So that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, I mean, I just think that fighters moving up in weight class or making more weight classes will make for better matchups, because it seems like, the divisions like middleweight, the divisions like light heavyweight and heavyweight are kind of boring, and all the better matchups seem to be more like in lightweight and featherweight and all that. So, let's talk about UFC Fight Night coming up real quick. Let me just give my picks real quick for the fights that I think matter, that are important to me. Let's see here. We got, like I said, Damian Maia versus Colby Covington.
Colby Covington, dude. I'm fucking here to take names and kick ass, man. Fucking beat your ass, dude.
Now, let me just tell you, I don't know the guy. I personally cannot fucking stand Colby Covington. I think he's such a fucking annoying douche. I mean, again, I don't know him. He could be a nice guy. I'm talking shit, but dude, when I see his face and I hear him talk, I honestly hate him. And I know he could totally kick my ass. We all know. But I hope Damian Maia strangles him and shuts him the fuck up. There's something about, like, if you're gonna talk shit, you can't be nerdy about it. You gotta be confident. It's so cringeworthy to see a guy. Okay, we got this guy Colby Covington, and he's an up and coming welterweight, and yeah, he's good. He's good. I'm not saying he's not good, but he's like,
I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna kick these guys' ass. They don't even know who they're messing with, dude. I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna beat everyone's ass, and no one's gonna stop me, man. No one's gonna stop me, man.
Like, it is so cringeworthy, and especially as a white guy, like. You sound so white. Come on, man. Like, put some fucking bass in your voice, and don't sound so nerdy. Don't sound like such a kid. God, I fucking hate Colby Covington. Yeah, I said it. And then we got Derek Brunson versus Lyoto Machida. Derek Brunson, he just knocked out Dan Kelly, big old Australian guy, which I was happy to see. For some reason, Dan Kelly, I don't like his face. Yeah. You guys ever see someone and you just look at their face and you just don't like them? Well, that's kind of how it is with Dan Kelly. So when I saw Derek Brunson knock him out, I was a little happy. I was a little happy about that. So Derek Brunson is fighting Lyoto Machida, who is an MMA fucking legend, striking master. He's beat some of the best in the world. He's also lost to some of the best in the world too. I'd like to see Lyoto win just because he's the legend and he's I personally like his style better. I think Derek Brunson's style, although Derek Brunson has gotten a lot better. I'm going to pick Derek Brunson to win by TKO, but I'd like to see Lyoto win simply because I'm just a fan of his. But Derek Brunson's cool too. I have nothing bad to say about him. So, all right. And, of course, you know what? I'm going to save UFC 217 picks for another B-hole. Bisping GSP. I'm going to talk about that because that'll take up a lot of time. Right now, I want to do a couple of Q&As because people ask me questions sometimes about like fighting or whatever, like MMA stuff, and I just thought I'd educate some people, and maybe you guys will find it interesting. Some people ask me, they say, what is the difference? Or like they'll say like, I want to get into MMA. I'm not sure what to train. Should I train wrestling? Should I train jiu-jitsu? Like, what do you think I should do? What are the differences? So let me talk to you guys about this. What is the difference between wrestling and jiu-jitsu, or Brazilian jiu-jitsu, BJJ? Now, just a little background, a little bit of history here. I'm no expert, but I know a little bit. Jiu-jitsu is a Japanese martial art. And Brazil has a lot of Japanese influence, believe it or not. A lot of Japanese came there, they migrated to South America, actually. There's even a lot of Japanese in Peru, believe it or not. A lot of, that's a whole other subject, but I digress. South America and it's like Brazil actually has a considerable Japanese influence, which is pretty interesting. And they brought jiu-jitsu from Japan to Brazil. And then the Brazilians, they had their thing like Vale Tudo, which was essentially like the original no-holds-barred, like bare-knuckle brawl fighting. And they developed what's called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ. So, then you've got wrestling, which originated wrestling is all over the world. Wrestling is a major sport all the way from, Europe to America to Africa to India. There's a huge wrestling scene in India and Pakistan. There's a huge wrestling scene in Africa. I think the sport over there in Africa, it's called like, how the fuck do you say it? It's like lab or something like that. These gigantic African guys throwing each other around. So wrestling and grappling and all that has been going on since the dawn of time, and that goes on everywhere. So let's talk about the difference between wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Okay, or Brazilian jiu-jitsu rather. BJJ, or Brazilian jiu-jitsu, is about fighting off your back. It's about attacking and or defending against somebody trying to hurt you while you are in a submissive position. So, example, I'm in a street fight, a guy punches me in the face, I fall down, he gets on top of me, I'm on my back and he gets on top of me, and he's trying to punch me. If I know some jiu-jitsu, then I can use that to, for example, choke him out. I can try to pull off like a triangle choke, which I would use my legs, and I would lock your neck up and I'd choke you out with my legs. I could arm bar you. I could try to put you in a Kimura. I could try to submit you in a submissive position. Does that make sense? So jiu-jitsu is about submitting or defending in a submissive position. So off your back. So basically it's fighting and defending yourself off of your back. So jiu-jitsu is a great martial art for people, who want, who get bullied or want to learn self-defense, right? It's great for that. Or it's just good for getting back on your feet. There's fighters in the UFC, for example. A good example would be a guy like Stipe Miocic, the current heavyweight champ, who actually has a good ground game and has good jiu-jitsu, but he uses more defensive jiu-jitsu, meaning that he can defend against submission attacks, and he can defend against being taken down better than certain guys who attack. A guy more like Damian Maia, who's an offensive jiu-jitsu player, who goes for the attack, who goes for the choke. So you can use jiu-jitsu offensively and or defensively. And same with striking too. Like you can be a counter striker or you can be more of an aggressive striker. I digress. So wrestling. Wrestling is pretty much the opposite of jiu-jitsu. It's more about attacking and controlling your opponent. So, for example, if I'm in a fight and I want to hold a guy up against a wall or hold him on the ground so he can't hit me, so he can't run away, that's called wrestling. So wrestling is just the art of controlling your opponent with physical force. And obviously there's definitely a lot of technique. And wrestling is very difficult. It's very taxing on the body, but it's great for holding someone down and controlling them so they can't do anything. Whereas jiu-jitsu is great for if someone's trying to hold you down or someone's trying to beat you up, it's a good way to defend against it. So that's that. Another thing people ask me, because I have a lot of fans who are, gay or trans or not even that. People just get bullied, and they want to know like tips in a bar fight or street fight. Now, here's what I'll say about tips in a bar fight or street fight. Number one, in a street fight or any bar fight, street fight, whatever. There are a million different possibilities. There's a million different variables to calculate. So I could sit here and give somebody advice on what to do in a bar fight, and it might work 1 out of 100 times. For example, I could say just throw a left hook and like run away, and that might work sometimes, but most of the time it might not work. Here's my advice for getting into a street fight or a bar fight. And my advice is not so much about what to do, it's about the mindset you need to have when you're out in public. So for example, when I go to a bar, when I go to the grocery store, because sometimes when I go out in public, I'm with one of my friends, my good friends, and she's trans, and she's, people notice, and sometimes people like to look, and I'm not saying that they're going to come up and do anything, but sometimes I kind of wish they would. I'm not going to lie, like that male, that test, like that primitive male instinct in me kind of wants somebody almost to like come up and talk some shit just so I can hurt somebody, which is retarded because I would go to jail. That's just a stupid. That's just how guys are. Guys are fucking savages. We're animals. So, my tip would be civil to everybody. Be civil to everybody, but be prepared to kill anybody. Does that make sense? That's kind of like my like warrior credo. That's like my warrior fighting mentality, is that when I go out in public, I'm civil and respectful to everybody. But I am also mentally prepared to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody, but if I'm in that situation, then I will. So my tip in a street fight is be cool to everybody, but be ready to kill. And if you are going to inevitably get into a fight, it's best to avoid it. But if you're inevitably going to get into a fight, strike hard, or strike first and strike hard. That's very important. And get the fuck out. Also, in a street fight, in a bar fight, sucker punching is 100% acceptable. 100% acceptable. All right, fighting dirty is 100% acceptable in a street fight or bar fight. You do not know who has a gun. You don't know who's crazy as fuck. You don't know who has a knife. You don't know who, how many other guys are going to run around the corner and try to beat your ass. All right, in a street fight or bar fight, my tip is to be civil to everybody, stay calm, mind your business. However, if a confrontation is inevitable, you strike hard, viciously, and you do it first. And you make sure that you take that motherfucker out. And if you got to kick him in the nuts, kick him in the nuts. You got to poke him in the eye, pull hair. My tip is this: like if you're fighting a guy and he's got like dreadlocks. By the way, if any guys are listening with dreadlocks, terrible for a fight. So easy to grab onto. Now, you can't do that in MMA because you're not allowed to grab hold of hair. But in a real fight, in a street fight, you can absolutely grab a hold of someone's hair. Absolutely. And if they try to pull away, well, I guess they're losing their fucking hair then, huh? That's a great way to hold somebody down and throw knees in their fucking face. It's called a Muay Thai clinch. Anyways, guys, I have so much to say about this shit. But yeah, man, you know, that's my advice. You know, don't walk around public. Don't go to a bar. Don't go to the grocery store, your job, or your school, with the attitude that people are gonna fuck with you. Just be civil and cool to everybody, but be ready to kill. And when I say kill, I don't mean really kill, but you know what I'm saying. Have the killer instinct in you, all right? Don't be prey. Don't be a victim, man, all right? If I had a kid and they asked me the same thing, I would tell my son, daughter, whatever, you strike first and you strike hard and you get the fuck out and you show no mercy while you're doing it, all right? So, trying to think if there's anything else I could say here. This is all fight talk, so shout out to all my MMA fans. Shout out to Darren Till from Liverpool. It was a great fucking performance against Donald Cerrone, man. If you guys at all want to send me some fan questions, that'll be
nojokestriking@gmail.com. Bitches.
I deleted my Instagram. Check me out on Facebook, y'all. Facebook.com/nojokehoward. I appreciate you all listening, and definitely, as I said, any kind of fan question you want read on the show, just send it to nojokestriking@gmail.com. I love everybody listening right now, guys. Have an excellent day. Peace.